The new moon on March 21st brings with it an inner settling to your awakened self. Now, a lot has been happening up until this point, and especially because the equinox is happening right before the new moon, which also helps you with this as well. And in this video, I want to share with you the 5 key things I think you should know about this particular new moon on March the 21st, so you can really make the most out of these beautiful energies, these frequencies, and all that is now at offer to you at this time because of this new moon. So the first thing I want you to know is that because of the equinox right before the new moon, the equinox actually ignites your inner light. And I have a video where I talk more about that. And there's also an equinox activation included as well. If that is of interest to you, there's a link in the description below. But I'm mentioning this is because the equinox really will activate that inner light within you. And then this new moon on the 21st, right the next day, actually then helps you let it all settle in. Because this activation that you're being given because of the equinox, you need time to integrate it. And that is really what is at offer with this new moon. It gives you that time. It gives you that energetic support, that cosmic support to let it all settle, to really settle into this inner light that's being activated within you, that's being ignited within you. Now, this may take like a day or two for you to really get used to that. You may then even feel quite unsteady because the spring equinox is quite powerful, really activating a lot within you. There's also a lot of cleansing involved and those type of things. And it may take a moment, maybe a day or two, for you to really get used to it, to really anchor in those new light codes that are being given to you because of the spring equinox. And especially if you're also listening to the activation in that video that I mentioned, it is also going to take you some time to integrate that. So this particular new moon will really give you that invitation to take time to really go within, to tune in into that energy, into all those shifts that happen within you, to let it settle, to really integrate that, to find your footing again. Because like I said, all that has been happening, it may cause you to feel somewhat unsteady, where you're feeling a little wobbly. And that's perfectly fine, because we are receiving higher frequency light codes that are being infused within us, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. But each and every person will feel that, but they will experience it in different levels. But now that you're becoming aware of it, I really want to invite you to take time out to let it all settle, because it will help you then moving forward. Because oftentimes when you're being given somewhat of an activation, whether it's you actually consciously going after an activation or you're just being assisted on a cosmic level, you do need that time to integrate and let it settle. And this is really the invitation here for this new moon, is that to take that time out to let us settle in. Then the second thing that I want you to know is that you may then also feel a sense of inner growth, where you're realizing that something big just happened. Because it is, with this spring equinox combined with the new moon right the next day, it is definitely a powerful period that can help you really change from within, and that can help you let go of a lot of old stuff. And really, like I said, it activates stuff within you. It activates a sense of newness within you, a more awakened self. So you may then realize that something big just happened, because there wasn't just a shift in season, or there isn't just a shift in season with the spring equinox, but there's also an inner shift that is happening as well. So you may then also realize that you're no longer who you once were. Maybe you're realizing that even the image you had about yourself, like how you saw yourself up until this point, is starting to shift as well. It's starting to kind of crumble away, and a newer version of you is coming to the forefront. You're realizing that you have grown, you have transformed, you have come quite far. And that's what you're starting to realize right now. You will feel those inner shifts happening, that inner growth that happened because of all that you have done up until this point, because of all these cosmic assistance from the spring equinox, now the new moon. You're feeling those inner shifts now more intensely, or at least you're becoming more aware of them. Now, this can also cause some unsteady feelings as well, or some uneasy feelings, because change isn't always easy, and our ego simply doesn't like those changes. And if you have noticed that something big just happened, and you're noticing that you're changing, you're shifting, you're growing, you're transforming, your ego may have somewhat of a hissy fit, because it doesn't like that change. It doesn't like growth, so to speak. Because whenever you're changing, whenever you're growing, well, you're going into the direction that is not safe to the ego, because you're tapping into uncharted territory, or even tapping into the unknown, which can be quite scary for the ego. So just be aware that you could feel a little uneasy because of those shifts that are happening. And just even if we're talking about this igniting that inner light because of the equinox, that too can cause some uneasy feelings, because maybe up until this point you felt more like, oh, I just want to be more in the shadows, a little stepping back. Well, now you're really being invited to not hide who you are anymore, and that too can cause some unsteady feelings or uneasy feelings. But you're noticing all these shifts now happening. If you pay attention, if you're really allowing yourself to tune in and become aware of all of those shifts that are happening, it will be quite exciting to see how far you have come and how much you have grown and how much you have changed. And you just need some time to get used to it. So that is really at offer here, and just be aware of that this new moon is not so much about now moving forward and forging ahead, but more so letting it all settle in, letting it all settle so you can really embrace all that has been happening because of the equinox, and now also with the new moon. Which brings me to the third thing here, is that kind of what I already alluded to it, take time to go within. This is really the perfect time to take some time out, around the equinox, then the new moon. If you can take some time out each of those days where you can just tune in, connect deeply, do some inner contemplation, maybe review your life to see how far you have come, really acknowledge your growth, acknowledge how far you have come, all the shifts that have taken place. And yes, maybe this year, beginning of the year, has been quite challenging for you, but it was also helping you to become aware of all the things that you haven't quite dealt with yet. So yes, even though it may have been challenging, but it was to your highest and greatest good. So look back over, these last couple of months, starting this year, to see how much has been shifting for you, what has been coming up for you, because it truly gives an opportunity to then heal more, release more, but then also become aware of how far you have come, to really notice that growth, that transformation. And you may need a couple of days to really settle into that, to really align yourself to all of those shifts that have happened, because like I said, now you're becoming more aware of them. So take that time to really tune in, reflect, and let it all settle. Because then also what happens, and that brings me to the fourth piece here, is when you take that time out to go within, it actually opens you up to then gaining greater insights as well. Because like I said, a lot has happened, a lot has shifted. You are shifting, you are now shining more brightly. You have received this beautiful activation, your light has been ignited, and now you may then also feel called to then step out more, because that is truly an invitation to step out into the world more, to really shine your light in whatever way, in shape or form that you feel called to do so. But when you're tuning in, this is a perfect time right now to really gain insights into your path moving forward, even into any areas that may still require your attention. Like I said, maybe this year has been quite challenging for you up until this point. Well, take some time to tune in to see, what has been coming up for you, because you now have that opportunity to get that greater insights into what requires your attention. You can also open yourself up to listen to your soul, to see what does your soul now desires moving forward. What are your soul's deepest desires as far as what do you want to do? What do you feel called to do to maybe make a bigger impact in the world? To maybe step into the role of being of service in some kind of way? Or even maybe just changing certain things in your life, maybe changing certain habits. Letting go of things that you have been holding on to, maybe starting something new, or maybe changing things around, or maybe changing just your perception around things. When you take time out to tune in, you open yourself up to receiving those insights. And then the fifth and final, and also I think the most important point here, is that you also have that inner knowing that you are at a very important point in your life. You have arrived at this very, very important point, that moving forward, your life will no longer be the same as it once was. That your life will change in ways you never even thought possible. Because like I said, a lot has changed, a lot has shifted. This year's all about stepping into your soul's path, really embracing your soul, who you are at soul level, and also what your soul has come here to do. So now with this new moon and this equinox bundle, you're really being activated to that. And now moving forward, you will then also, if you allow yourself to really tune into that, you will then also have that inner knowing that This is a very important point in your life. And you want to take that time out to really contemplate, okay, what are my next steps? What do I really feel guided to do? Because as you then step into that, as you really follow your soul's path, that higher path that is already designed for you, that you're being invited now to really embrace and step into, your life will change for the better. You will transform even more. And here, this may often cause somewhat of a fear or even doubts, and limitations may come up and those type of things. And here I want to invite you, challenge those. Don't allow any fears or doubts or limited thinking hold you back from what you already know deep within is meant to unfold. Because right now you're being assisted on a cosmic level, on an energetic level, to really forge ahead, to really move ahead. After this beautiful new moon, it's really time to then move ahead on those ideas, those projects, those desires, all of those things that you felt called to do, because we're still in a retrograde free world until about April the 20th. So make the most out of this retrograde free world, because now you can really move ahead. But take some time out with this new moon to really tune in and connect. Tune into the energy of the equinox, the new moon. Definitely check out the Spring Equinox activation that I mentioned. The link is in the description below, so you can really tap into that, what is now available to you. But take some time out on a Spring Equinox, on a new moon, to really tune in, to contemplate about all of those things that are now asking for your acknowledgement. Notice your growth, celebrate your growth, celebrate how much you have transformed, even your little wins, celebrate those as well. But become aware of how much you have grown. Really take that time out, really tune into that energy. Allow this inner light within you being ignited, and allow yourself to let it settle as well. Allow these shifts to take place, because it is to your highest and greatest good. And then, like I said, maybe even contemplate about what are those next steps that you feel guided to do, that you really feeling called to take. And then take them. Really be courageous and do the things that you know deep within your heart you're meant to be doing. Now, it's also a perfect time for a ceremony where you can maybe smudge your house, smudge your surroundings, cleanse your energy and those type of things. Maybe even go outside if you can and really connect with Mother Nature, with Mother Earth, and just allow the energies to activate you within and to really help you then move forward. Okay, so there you go. You have the 5 key things about this new moon on March the 21st. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor, hit the like button. Maybe leave me a comment below and let me know, have you noticed those shifts taking place already? Are you noticing those energetic shifts, those energetic frequencies that you're not able to tap into? I would love to know. Leave me a comment below. But then also, like I said, check out this video here about the Spring Equinox, the key things to know, and then of course the activation, so you can really make the most out of this Equinox and New Moon bundle. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Until then, make it an amazingly abundant, successful day. Namaste.